Are you ready?
My name is
I was adjusting my pony and says, sometimes we just need an adjustment. So how you look, how you feel, and mostly how you act is imperative to the quality of life that you are having. So hello and welcome to, my name is Vanda, which is all about recognizing and raising your awareness to you being the oracle, you understanding that you have your inner wisdoms, you have this knowing inside of you. So I want to reach out and just share that as we experience who we are, we also experience the contrast of who we are not being. And it's those moments that trigger that desire to be more. And just right there, that is a wrap with all that wisdom. Because it's truly in the contrast of what you are experiencing that signals you and lets you know, you being your higher self or you being the aspect of yourself that is wanting something. And that wanting something is what I call a desire. In that desire, we all know that that is what enriches us to evolve and to create as creators of our lives. But it's also what triggers that thirst for knowledge or that curiosity or that thread for accomplishment and fulfillment. Those are the true ingredients of what we're looking for as creators in our lives. We're looking to be fulfilled, to be satisfied, to be valued, to be part of something greater. And that greater aspect of today of what I want to share with you is just recognizing who you are is so important in these moments because you have to know who you are being in each and every moment. No one can take that away from you, even though we truly feel or we might have been brought up to believe that, that is not the case. I just got moved right now by the flow of leaves just falling down. It's like the tree feeling that it's vulnerable right now because all the leaves are falling. And that is exactly my topic today. What I want to share with you is that we all go through our cycles, our rhythms. We need to know that within us is our own tree of life. And we also need to know that we have our own cycles that just with that, we have a cycle that enriches us. And then we also have the cycle that is needing to be renourished. And in saying that, it's bringing like that contrast. For every new tree, to bear those beautiful and blossom those new leaves and those flowers and that fruit, this stage has to happen naturally. And that's the natural fall and the natural desire to grow and to want something. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that I'm finding that people are being caught up in false distortions of emotional desires by mere competitiveness or comparisons or false judgments or maybe more of a curiosity of options versus something that is something that they want. It sounds good, it could be good, but they're not really sure. So what does that look like on a day-to-day basis, and what does this really mean? How do I know who I am, and how do I know if this really serves me, and is it being done from a place of comparison or judgment or inferiority or insecurity? What am I saying? Who am I being? We are all spiritual beings having this physical experience and being triggered and enhanced and enriched by how we feel. Our inner guidance are our emotions. So there is a time and there is a place to know that something has just had its time. And what that brings into being is you knowing where you are and you knowing how to evaluate these spaces and these aspects of yourself, because it's when we don't know who we are that other people's thoughts are able to distort and create inner blocks with ourselves that then trigger like a self-sabotaging reaction. Why? Because we are ignoring who we are being by not listening to who we are. And who we are is we are empathic and sensitive, and we have thoughts of our own. But those are not the only thoughts that surround us and encompass us and connect with us and influence us. You have to know who you are, what type of person you are, what's your character, and what is it that you love and what is it that you want to do, so that you don't get caught up in other people's thoughts, in other people's emotions, in other people's triggers, in other people's influences, so that you're able to navigate your path and chart it to a place where you are able to recognize that there is a time, there is a place, and there is a way that you love expressing those ways for you. They say, there is a time to laugh, there is a time to cry, there is a time to be, there is a time to think, there is a time to feel. But in saying those things, we never stop thinking, we never stop feeling, and we never stop doing. So when do you create this time and the space within you, knowing that your day is filled with to-do lists, your emotions are rattled by emotional pulls, by your peers, your social settings, your friends, your family, your children, your siblings, your own settings within yourself? What is it that gives you that space to recognize these are my thoughts, these are my feelings, and this is what I want to do because I know who I am? And that is such an important question to ask yourself. Are you being aware of who you are being in those moments or in those relationships with the people you love or the people you work with or with even yourself when you're making these decisions to what you're wanting? Because these are critical factors that we say we don't ignore them, but we do. By mere, there is really no word for it, but a mere composition of all of our thoughts, all of our feelings, all of our needs, and all of our desires in these moments. So I'm finding that people are coming forward and they go, I don't know what I want. I don't want this. And then they're not able to refocus and realign themselves because they are emotionally triggered by distorted emotions or false angers or past information or triggers that are taking them out of being who they are. So how do we clear this up? And I thought that this would be a vital nugget to share with you today, that first and foremost, you've got to understand that you're here on your own free will. No one is puppeteering you. No one is forcing you to be here. You and your agreement with your higher self, your soul, your source, God, you call it whatever you want to name it. You are here in a collaboration, a co-creation for you to create the life you want. How that works is dependent on the quality of your thoughts and how you are feeling about who you're being. Now, it's all grand and wonderful to speak these words, but these words only truly have meaning and purpose and value when you're able to compose the energy and alignment to what serves you and to what makes you feel good. And that takes you now back to knowing who you are. Are you a person that is easy to be influenced by other people's thoughts? Are you a person that gets sensitive in other people's energies and environments? Are you a person gets angry by the politics or the religious rights or the things that are happening in the news? Are you the person that is able to have a conversation with many opinions, or do you need to stay focused and just do one thing at a time? Only you know who you are. But if you're not able to pause enough and bring back within you and ask, who am I and who am I being? And answer those things, because who you are is the creator of your life, and who are you being is reacting to what you have created. And in between those two of who you are and who you're being, there's this bell curve. And this bell curve is determined by the emotional ability, your emotional equity, your emotional ability to balance your thoughts and your feelings with knowing how to truly, truly recognize who you're being in the moment, so that you're able to serve this, to take you into a place that brings you into inner balance. Our desires come from experiencing most of the time from the contrast experiences of how we are living. And I say that because our muscles are weaker in joy than when they are in struggle. You get very, very clear, very, very, very quickly when you don't like something. It becomes super clear. You're supercharged, your emotions are heightened, and you're like, no, 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 no. Everything is heightened because your emotional self is alerting you, and it's guiding you, and it's letting you know, boom, a new desire has been given birth to, a seed of opportunity, a seed of hope, a seed of an idea, or something that has created a desire. Those desires get convoluted and those desires get wishy-washy when you start bringing other people's needs and wants and your thoughts about that into the play of what you want for yourself. When you're able to recognize that I'm a person that loves to be orientated, to be woken up in the morning by my morning coffee. If you're not doing that, then that is going to trigger a contrast of something so that you can get into alignment of more of what you want, because you know who you are. If you're a person that needs to be still in the morning and you need to have the time to do all of that, and you're constantly being bombarded, okay, or you're being alerted by intrusive, distorted thoughts by the demands of others, then you're going to be triggered with anxieties or thoughts or emotional pulls, and then you're not going to be able to bring yourself into balance or into alignment with yourself. Why? Because you know who you are and you are not responding to who you are being by ignoring your most important need. And your most important need is to be the creator of your life, not the reactive reinforcement of what you've created that is creating a disorder in your life. That is huge. That just alone there takes you back and thinking, okay, we only like being the creators of our lives when everything is flourishing. But when we are self-sabotaging ourselves, We are no longer the creators of our lives, and we are easy to be challenged and to be brought into awareness and really justify our causes and be the victims of certain aspects of ourselves in our lives. And that goes with everybody. The more you're able to evolve from that, and the more you're able to understand who you are and who you're being through these cycles. That's why I love to introduce new moons, full moons. I love to introduce, seasons. I love to introduce, the ebbs and flows. Why? Because they're natural cycles that help you stay in tune, that help you stay connected, that help you stay lined up in comparison to the life force energy that creates life itself. When you are running your life with threads of supercharged artificial intelligence or rituals and mandates of other people's demands, of course there is an aspect of you that is going to get out of balance, because we are spiritual beings. Having that human, physical, emotional, mental experience requires for us to be the wholesome unity of all of our rays of light, of all that encompasses life. A man without vision is a man that perishes very, very quickly. A person that doesn't know who they are, they can't take themselves to enrich themselves, never mind others. And we are yet to evolve and to spread and share the possibilities of creation. But that comes from us experiencing life in its full diversity. We're living in a moment of probably the most chaos we've ever experienced. And also at the brink of the true dance between spirituality and science, where AI is going to challenge us to not only absorb this evolution, but also for us to evolve alongside it. Not for us to be dormant, stop our thoughts, pull back on our feelings, and stop living and experiencing who we are. That's going to create a whole different aspect of a different life, right? That's very, very, very important for you to understand this message. You have to ask yourself, who are you? Yes, you're a mother or a father or a human, but you being the creator of your life, who are you being? Because it matters. It matters to him, to you. And once it matters to you, then it's going to matter to all of those around you, because those are the true influences that minimize the emotional distortions, the thoughts of other people's, and the needs of others pulling at your internal threads for you to be somebody else that you're not. Just seeds of love here today, sharing so that you're able to just tap in to your creator life force energy and know that, yes, you are in charge. And yes, it is up to you to know who you are being, because it's you that's creating all aspects of your life. And once you come to terms with that, and once you understand that, you're able to close the gap on so many things that are distorting and pulling and creating false anxieties. All right? With that, just stay tuned in, stay super aware, and know that you are someone absolutely gorgeous and divine, creating the life that you want.
My name is Vanda.